Do you want to know how to draw a realistic nose? Well, that's why I'm here to help you out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Since so many of you guys have requested a video about how to draw a nose, I decided that we are going to draw a nose today. I will share some tips and tricks with you guys that can hopefully help you improve your artwork. Okay, let's start with the exaggerated version of a don't. The edges are very harsh and the nostrils are not exactly at the right place. This is how some people draw it, and again, it's a great start because the shape is not that incorrect, but we can still improve on that. There are different ways how you can draw a nose. What I find the easiest is using circles. First, draw a big circle for the tip and then two smaller circles, one on each side. These are going to be the wings of the nose. By the way, this circle technique can be used for any angle. So if you would look at the nose from a lower angle, you would draw the bigger circle higher. And if you look at the nose from above, you would draw the bigger circle lower. And the lower area where these circles cross each other is going to be the area where we can now draw the nostrils. So where the cross point is, draw a curve like that and connect it with another curve along the lower part of the big circle. And now I can outline the left and right side of the smaller circle to create the wings of the nose. But be sure you don't connect these lines with the nostrils. Draw the outer line slightly downwards, so not completely following the small circle. The shape also depends on the nose shape you're going for. So you can make everything wider, smaller, shape it differently. The circles are just a guideline. Now I can slightly erase the guidelines so they are not in the way. For this step, I'm using this kneadable eraser since it's soft and can absorb the pencil very easily. And now we can start adding shadows and more details. For the upper part of the nose, we can use the guidelines that are slightly visible. This means you can prolong the lines of the bigger circle upwards to create the nose bridge. For now, I just have it slightly lined out for later. The left and right curve of the bigger circle is going to be the top of the nose that we can now start shading. Since here I want the light to fall down from the top, the highest point of the nose should be lighter than lower parts. So in this case, since the nose has round shapes, the outer areas will be much darker than the top area. Here I just lightly went over with a soft pencil and drew the nose bridge using the guidelines I added earlier. To blend out the lines, I'm using a Q-tip since I don't have any fancy tools for that. And then I used a very soft pencil that I held parallel to the paper to add shadows around the nose bridge and around the other edges of the nose. Move the pencil very lightly over the paper, as if you would color it with a very light layer of color. And now we can blend the pencil lines. I already like the intensity of the shadows, but we can still add more. This is the base shading, and now we can build up the shadows to create basically different shades of gray. Use a very soft pencil and go over the edges again. But this time, press down the pencil even more to make the shadows darker. The nose is completely gray, but as you can see, the top area is still brighter than the outer edges. Here I just wanted to show you where the mouth would be if you would keep drawing, but I will show it in another video next time. Remember to blend out the lines, especially along the nose bridge. You don't want the nose bridge to have harsh lines. They should rather be very soft and smoothly blend into the rest of the face. You can also add some shadows below the nose, but be sure to keep the area right below the nostrils lighter because there is still a little bit of light. And if you want to add the lines that go into the cheeks, you can do it as well, but I wouldn't just draw them out like that. I would softly sketch out the lines and then blend them in to make the edges as soft as possible. But it depends on how deep these lines are in the face, so if necessary, you could still add darker lines that blend into these shadows. From here, we just need to add more and more shadows and blend them in. The shadow on the left was a bit too much, but I still kinda like it. Remember that this is only one of the ways how to draw a nose. I don't say that this is the one and only way, and that the don't side is completely wrong. It should fit your style and you should like it. If you don't want to draw realistically, that's totally fine. The most important part is to just have fun creating art. I also added some shadows above the tip of the nose and a few shadow lines a little above it on the nose bridge, because sometimes the nose bridge is not just straight. For this step, I just used a Q-tip to blend in the shadows instead of using a pencil. Of course, there are so many different nose shapes, this is just one version. And now let's add some light reflections. With an eraser, lightly go over the highest point of the nose tip, above it, right after the shadow, and then right after the other shadow we created. This way you really get this three-dimensional effect. The kneadable eraser is really great for things like that because you can just simply press down the eraser to softly remove some of the pencil without creating harsh lines. To make it even more realistic, you can also create a reflection slightly above the lower edge of the nose. This is where the light bounces off a little bit as well. And below the nostrils. For this step, you can even shape the eraser to create a pointy tip. Remember, this is just one way to draw a nose. It always depends on the shape of the nose, your style, how realistic you want to draw it. You don't even have to draw it realistically, actually. There are even more realistic versions, but I find that if you like it and if you see you are already improving, that's already great. If you want to practice, I would recommend to just make studies of certain things like noses. Draw them in different angles, work on the shadows, really take a close look at it and try to make it as realistic as possible. You can also use a picture as reference, of course. Even if you don't want to draw that realistically, it's still helpful to learn the basics by using a realistic image. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it and found it helpful. And comment down below what you would like to see next in this drawing series. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe for more arts and crafts related videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day and I will see you next week. Bye!